lesson is about laws of exponents division. So our rules to remember is when dividing like variables, you actually subtract the exponents, and your answer should not have any negative exponents. So let's look at this example. We have x to the negative 6. It's actually equal to, notice, we put a 1 as a numerator, and the x to the 6th becomes a denominator, and so we now have a positive variable. So it's a simplifying the problem. So let's look at our first problem. Here we have x to the 14th, and this fraction bar, notice I drew a division symbol because that means divided by x to the 8th. So I'm just going to write x to the 14 minus 8. Remember, this can be your mental math, but right now we're writing it. It's going to be x to the 6th power. And there's your answer. So I know it mentioned variables up above. However, we see here we have the same base, and the base actually is 6. So we're going to do the exact same thing that we did for our variables. When I'm working this problem, there's my base, and I'm doing 5 minus 3. And again, 5 minus 3 we know is equal to 6 squared. And there is our answer. Number 3 is really kind of just like the example we did. So since this exponent is negative, to simplify what I see there, I am just going to put a 1 as my numerator, and my x to the 3rd power, notice the negative turns to a positive when we write the fraction. And there's your answer. All right, for number 4, we have a to the 7th, b to the 11th, divided by a squared, b to the 4th. So I am going to write my variable a, and I'm going to do that. And you know what? I just realized this fraction bar reminds me of division, but it also looks like a subtraction symbol. So I know that I'm going to write 7 minus 2. And now I will write my b variable, and it is 11 minus 4. And when I simplify that, we know that a to the 5th and b to the 7th. We're just doing that little subtraction problem. Looking at number 5 now, there's actually a coefficient there. And with the coefficient, if it can be simplified, we're going to want to do that. So I know that 3 goes into both of those numbers. So I'm going to divide both of the numbers by 3. Well, we know 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So now, as I'm working this problem, I know that I am going to go ahead and actually have, and that 1 doesn't really need to be written, but it's going to kind of look like this, right? And we're going to, of course, have our variables there. So now I'm looking at my variables, and I am going to go ahead and I'm going to actually write this 1/5 there so we have room to do our little subtraction. So it is w to the 6 minus 2 and v to the 5 minus 1. And now when I go ahead and I write this, I'm copying my 1/5, and it's w to the 6 minus 2 is 4. V 5 minus 1 is 4. And there is our answer. If we were going to leave it in fraction form, it would look like this. It would be w to the 4th, v to the 4th. Either one of those answers would be correct. And you know, when you're writing this, they would not have that 1 there. It's just understood. All right, let's look at the next one. Oh, well, I see some negatives there. I have x to the negative 2, y to the 4th, and a to the negative 9. So I'm noticing I have all different variables. So I cannot put any of those together. But what I'm going to need to do is I am going to need to use this rule that I am not allowed to have any negative exponents. So when I'm looking in my numerator and I have a negative x to the negative 2, remember, I'm going to bring that guy down. And y to the 4th is positive, so guess what? He gets to stay up there. He is not moving. But now I see a to the negative 8. Well, just like we brought x down, we have to bring the a to the negative 8 to make it a positive 8. And that actually is our answer. If you wanted to go ahead and write it where you had the variables in alphabetical order, you could write it like this, but I will tell you, either answer is correct. And last but not least, we have a negative 4 m to the 6th over m to the 13th. So since that negative 4, and remember, there's just like a 1 here, well, we end up with just a negative 4. And now I'm going to write my variable, and I'm going to write my little subtraction problem. So it's m to the 6th, here's my subtraction, minus, notice, 13. Okay, now I'm looking at that, negative 4m. Well, 6 minus 13 is actually a negative 7. When we look at this now, the 4 is fine. It's not a negative exponent, but here we do have a negative exponent. So our final answer for this would be negative 4, and that m is going to have to come down below, and it's going to be m to the 7th power. When you're looking at all of these rules that you need to remember, I took multiplication separately and division, and there will be another video that is going to involve more complex problems to simplify, combining both of those sets of rules. If this video was helpful to you today, please add a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more Math with Marcia. See you again soon.